Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Apple Box Chronicles. My name is Peyton Buteau.
And I'm Adryon Thomas.
And today on the ABCs, we're taking you from A to Z on Avatar Fire and Ash, James Cameron's new Avatar film that just came out. We are personally very excited about this one.
It's finally here.
Very excited to talk about it. This is one of the ones for the month that we just had planned out the whole time, so we knew we had to talk about this. In fact, that was kind of how we decided to do the end of the year thing. We were like, we have to make sure we at least cover this before giving our, best of the year episode or doing anything like that, because there was a pretty strong, idea that this was going to be a movie that we liked. You never bet against James Cameron.
That's like a tried and true. You never bet against James Cameron.
Yeah, he understands how to make people go see a movie.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw this movie. But first, just briefly, what is your history with the Avatar franchise?
Well, I was a day one guy, I guess you could say. Back when I was young, James Cameron was like one of my favorite. He still is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I know I say Spielberg is always going to be number one. He always will be number one. But if there is a second filmmaker out there, like right under him, it's probably James Cameron for me, because every single one of his movies I love. For a while, as when I was young, Terminator 2 was like my favorite movie of all time. I still consider it the best like sci-fi action movie of all time. It still holds up. It's still great. So I do remember when they announced that James Cameron was coming out with the first Avatar movie after almost 2 decades since
13 years.
Okay, not as long, but yeah, it was a while since he had made Titanic, and I remember seeing that trailer, one of those first trailers, and it's like from the director of Terminator 2, Titanic, The Abyss, True Lies, like all these movies. I was like, he's back, he's back. I was so excited, and I truly didn't know what to expect. And I remember my family, I think it came out around Christmas time as when that came out, and we were visiting in Florida, and we were able to see this in like IMAX 3D. My first time watching it, and
Avatar, the original?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it blew everybody away. I've never seen 3D like that in my life. Like, that was truly a life-changing experience, and I was obsessed with that movie. I literally did school projects on that movie. They were like, pick a subject matter that you really like. I picked Avatar, and I talked about Avatar and like all the characters and like the world and like how we did it. Huge Avatar head, so anybody who says that there are no Avatar fans, like, that's not until I die, because like I was the biggest Avatar fan. I still am the biggest Avatar fan, and obviously when Way of Water came out after such a long gap in between, again, day one guy. I think I saw that at like an employee screening like the day before it came out. I was the only one there. The managers were like, "It's just you," and I'm like, "Just put it on."
Yeah.
I'll turn it off when the movie's over, because they are long movies. But yeah, I love it. I love Avatar a lot. I love James Cameron a lot. You don't bet against James Cameron. There's a lot for me to say about it, but we would have an entirely different episode if that were the case.
Yeah, we're here to talk about the new one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for me, not as interesting. I think I saw the first one in theaters, maybe, but I definitely rewatched it when Way of Water came out, and the thing is, my girlfriend loves it. It's like her favorite movie is Avatar, and so every time a new one comes out, I actually would have been with you at that screening of Way of Water.
Yeah.
I would have been the only other guy there.
Yeah.
Had I not promised her that we would go see The Way of Water together, so I did not attend that screening, because usually what happens is I see movies either early, or I'm like so excited and eager to see them that I just go see them, and then I'll watch them again with her. And with Avatar, that's not going to fly. She's
Yeah.
just always like, no, we have to watch Avatar together first time. So we did that with this one too, even though she got her wisdom teeth taken out the same day. She was literally like, I don't care, we're going to see Avatar. And I was like, you sure about this? She was like, we need to go see Avatar. So yeah, really exciting when these come around. I'm glad we're getting new ones still.
Yeah.
You know, but I do appreciate the original at this point more than I have in the past. My thing was always that everyone was like, oh, it's Dances with Wolves, it's unoriginal. And my thing was always, no, it's Mean Girls. I just always compared it to Mean Girls in the plot, because I think not only is it funny to draw those parallels, but I also think that it's my way of trying to illustrate you can break movies down to very, very basic things happening, and kind of just make it seem like they're the same story.
Yeah.
And you know, they always say that there's like there's only a certain amount of stories you can tell, and it's all about how you tell them and like the different ways you subvert and like everything like that. I find that to be true sometimes. Like, you know, there are so many different stories out there, but if you break them down to very, very basic levels and you take all the context and the style out of it, you're actually losing substance. You're losing what makes them original. I feel like there's just a misconception when it comes to these movies around the originality of them. But anyway, we can get into that. But that's basically my history with Avatar.
I think the criticisms about like the plot and really any criticism, not any, but most of the criticisms about Avatar are just like loud people that want to be counterculture about it. Because when you have a movie that's so big and so like it makes so much money and so many people watch it, you're bound to have it's the haters and the people that just don't want it to succeed, and they'll do anything to make excuses to say that it's not a good movie or it's failing in one aspect or the other. And it's like, I'm sure you could have your criticisms about it, but at a certain point you're just nitpicking and you just want to say something bad about a movie even though there's nothing very substantive about what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I just think there's a lot of haters for the movie just based on the fact that it's a popular movie.
So we also saw it in 4DX, Fire
that
and
was
Ash,
really cool.
which was my second viewing and your first.
It's 4DX 3D, so it was also in 3D.
Yeah,
well.
And besides,
you have to watch it in 3D. Come on, guys.
Yeah, besides being a little close to the screen because we were in the second row.
Yeah. That
4DX was off the chain.
It was crazy.
I knew it was going to be insane. I literally was like, dude, we have to see it in 4DX. Like, you're going... I
felt like I was on Pandora.
I was watching that shit, like, in the IMAX the day before, and I was like, this 4DX is going to be insane. Because if you don't know, 4DX, you can usually tell when something's going to be insane if a character is riding a horse or driving a car.
Yeah.
If it's something like bumpy, like Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, we saw that in 4DX. By far the craziest part in that movie is just a 10-second scene of Tom Cruise driving a Jeep out of like a rocky cave and crashing. That's it. Yeah. Like, if you're driving on terrain, that's why Twisters is the most insane movie in 4DX. Yeah. Not because of the Twisters, but because they're driving those fucking cars off terrain and off-road. That's it.
Yeah.
The entire time it's fucked. And in this movie, they're flying those animals. I forget what they're called, but they're flying on those animals and just like, you know, attacking each other and spinning around and doing all this crazy stuff and like throwing people. And I'm like, this is going to be the most insane thing in 4DX, and it was. Yeah,
it's super fun and involving. We did watch it and with our friends, and one of them was under the influence of some stuff, and he was losing his mind.
Yeah, we found out. Okay, so let me tell you this story. So after the film, we drove separately. You drove with our buddies.
Yeah.
I drove by myself. We met there. I was driving back home where we all live.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I really want to stop and get some food, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I should do that. And then I got home, and I thought to myself, you know, I bet those guys are hungrier than me. If they stop somewhere, surely they'll call me and, ask if I want anything. And then I get home and 5 minutes pass, they're not here. So I call you and I'm like, did you guys stop somewhere? And he goes, you're like, yeah, we went to Taco Bell. And I'm like, bastards, you didn't fucking call me. Yeah. You were coming to the same place and you didn't call me and tell me that you were at Taco Bell.
Yeah, we all felt really bad. Really,
I want Taco Bell, and you all just kind of like laughed in embarrassment about it. And it was so fucking funny because when you got home, you were like, okay, listen, the reason we didn't think to call you is because we were all dying because one of our friends had broken it in the car. We talked after the movie in the parking lot for like 5 minutes. Yeah. But he waited until you guys were in the car, and he broke the news that he had mentally checked out from the film for a third of it. He literally was, like, asleep. Like, because he, in his words, what he was going through, he was like, in the first 10 seconds, he was like, I hate this. I hate this, because it's, like, moving around. Yeah. And he was just like, nope. And he just like closed his eyes and shut down. Yeah,
it was kind of a nightmarish experience for him. And I just was losing it in the car. We were all just like laughing so much, and we got Taco Bell, and he called us. I was like, oh shit, we didn't think about Peyton, because we were just all just like dying in the car.
And then when you guys got back, I took two of you and went back to Taco Bell.
Yeah, we just went back to Taco Bell.
So I was like, now I want some.
Yeah, because I only got like one thing, and I was like, this is so good. Let's just go get some more. But
it was a really fun evening, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the theater experience in general. One of the main criticisms I hear about these films is that, they have no cultural impact because once they're out of theaters, nobody talks about them. That's not really true.
No.
But also, when people say, I feel like if you're arguing about something having cultural impact or not, it does have cultural impact just on the fact that you're arguing about it.
Yeah.
But also, you're supposed to watch these in the theater. Like, you're supposed to go see these in the movie theater. That's why they make so much money. Yeah. Because people know that is a one shot to see this in the way it's meant to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's not even like most movies where they, the marketing will constantly say, deserves to be seen on the biggest screen. No, literally, it is not the same. You watch Avatar movies in the theater, and watching them at home can be cool, but you're supposed to fucking go out to the theater and watch the Avatar movies.
I think the criticism about it having no social impact is really just these people that don't watch movies, and the only movies that they intake are movies like Marvel movies or Star Wars or these big IP movies that companies are just trying to shove down everybody's throat, and they keep making spin-off movies and TV shows and all that. They're just throwing all this IP out there. Avatar doesn't do that. It only sticks with the movies.
No, it takes its time.
It takes its time. It develops the technology and the characters. If anything, it branched off into, I think they have like a Pandora world at like a Universal or Disney. I don't remember which one. Probably Disney.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And the fact that James Cameron isn't shoving this movie down people's throats whenever the movie's not coming out, it just shows that people are just taking in whatever companies are throwing at them, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, it has no cultural impact. That's because you keep watching these Marvel movies, whether you like them or not. And that's why those movies have cultural impacts, because they're out every single year or every other year, and they're just constantly like in our faces about it. And there's no room for anybody to really digest it and like look at it and like really appreciate what these movies are doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, Star Wars was the same thing way back in the day, but after such success with them and they started putting out, the books and the toys and the video games, that's when it really started to ramp up in its people really loving them. Because like back in the day, it was really just those nerds and those geeks that really liked Star Wars, until it really branched out into the really expanded its universe.
Yeah.
And now when Disney bought it out, they just went crazy with it to the point where people are even like, we don't need this much anymore, and they're getting fatigue over Star Wars and Marvel and DC and all these big IP movies, and Avatar doesn't get that fatigue. That's why people keep coming back for more, because you only get them every once in a while.
Yeah, it's Avatar movies like the Avatar movies are like a meteor shower.
Yeah.
You hear that there's going to be a meteor shower outside. Everybody goes outside to see that shit because they know that they want the opportunity to experience it for themselves. Marvel movies are just like the stars in the sky. Like, you can go out and you can see them anytime, and they're always prevalent and they're always there.
And they're cool sometimes.
And you know, you look up there and you're like, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
And, you know, but sometimes you forget that they're there.
Yeah, look at Doomsday coming out. Like, everybody's just over it. They're just like, this is gonna suck. Like, nobody wants to see it anymore.
I'm so excited for Doomsday because of that.
I am too. I'm actually more excited to see Doomsday than any other Marvel movie in the past few years, just to see what is even happening with this movie.
What are they gonna do?
That movie's gonna make a lot of money as well, just based on the fact that people are probably just gonna go to hate watch it, or just out of curiosity.
And also, it's like the Alan Cumming thing, when Alan Cumming was like, yeah, I didn't even like record my lines with actual actors, like all that stuff. It's that they don't want to get a good performance out of Alan Cumming. That doesn't matter to them. They're just like, he has to be in it.
Yeah,
that's all it is. He has to just be in the movie.
His character just has to be in it.
If he's present as a cameo, it doesn't even matter if he's good or not in the movie. It doesn't matter if he has an impact, or we're actually able to do something interesting with the character. He just has to show up and be in it. Like for example, this is so funny because in the Avatar, screenings, you're getting this fucking trailer for Avengers Doomsday where it says Steve Rogers will return. And here's the thing, the fans are to blame for this partially. Yeah. Because it's the most desperate thing ever, but at the same time, everyone kind of rejected movies like Eternals and, to an extent, Shang-Chi, and like when we were and Miss Marvel and the Marvels and all these different things to try to put new stuff into the Marvel universe, and everyone's like, oh, whatever.
Tony Stark's not in it, so I don't want to see it.
This is boring. Like, Ironheart, that's just another Tony Stark, but worse. And like,
well, there's also like racial prejudice.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's like people are, they look at that, they're like, oh no, where is my team of white people? that was originally running shit, and so they don't like what Marvel's doing, trying to expand it, and so the message being sent to Marvel is, go back. Yeah. Cast Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
They're already nostalgia baiting something that just ended.
We don't even
like
know what the fucking
ago.
Story is.
Yeah.
We know Dr. Doom's going to be in the movie. That's it. Like, we know who's in it.
The most prevalent new actors that they put in are from like Fantastic Four.
That's the thing. Fantastic Four has a post-credit scene with Dr. Doom in it. Yeah. But it's like from behind. That's their villain, and it's like there's no actual stakes between those characters and that character. They've never, you don't see anything develop between the two of them. I mean, obviously we could see what happens in the movie, but the thing is that film, I'm not seeing. There's no story of Avengers Doomsday yet. We don't know what the story is of the movie. What was their announcement for the film? Oh, we're gonna announce who's gonna be in it. That's what matters. Yeah. It's all. What's the trailer for the movie? Is it gonna show us what the movie's about? No, the trailer is gonna show you. Hey, there's another guy in the movie that you can see. They've just become this thing where they're like, what guys are gonna be in it? Yeah. What action figures are you gonna pull out of the drawer for us to smash together in this film? That's it. Like, there's no interest in what the story is actually going to be about. Yeah. Yet with Avatar, you have people saying that there is no story and that it's all visuals and flair. There's more story in this than I think Avengers Doomsday is going to have.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Guaranteed.
There's more story in this than most Marvel movies. I said this coming out of the movie. This movie is biblical. Like, this is some epic stuff right here.
You said something that I think that actually was so good. It was you said, I feel like I'm watching a movie.
Oh, yeah.
That is about past events but takes place in the future or something like that.
So this movie feels in a way like historical events that we're watching as like people who have like
Like some epic battle that
yeah,
happened like centuries ago.
like this is like I don't know, like watching a movie about World War II, but this stuff happens in the future. Like this is like biblical stuff where like these events are happening with these characters that are just insane and life changing and world changing for the world that they're in, and it's incredible. It's incredible stuff, and the themes that they have. There's literally like Jesus level events happening in this movie, and it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these themes.
Yeah.
I guess there's a quote from the movie and from James Cameron. It's in the movie, and like basically what he talks about a lot is the title of the movie. The fire of hatred leaves only the ash of grief. And he's talking about how the fire and ash is a cycle. How when, you know, there's pain and suffering and tragedy, then it leaves behind the ashes and it fuels the fire of hatred again, which leaves behind more ashes. And we are seeing in this movie all these different characters kind of go through this in different ways, and the way that grief kind of tears them apart, because we all kind of grieve in different ways, and it makes us harder for us to understand each other. We kind of forget about how much we have in common when we're going through trauma. And I think that actually happened with a lot of this happened in I mean, I'm sure a lot of places throughout the world, but America during COVID, you saw in Eddington too. You know, when we all went through the same thing, we all went through the same kind of trauma, but because we all respond to it differently, then it just like illuminates our differences so much, and we can't come together as people. Yeah. And in this movie, the Sully family is dealing with the death of Nataeum, you know, and they all grieved in different ways. And then Neytiri's prejudice against the Sky People is just fueled by that. Yeah. Because that's who killed her son, and yet Spider has kind of taken the place of her son, and she hates him. Yeah. She hates him even more than she did in the last movie, because he reminds her of the very type of, you know, the very species that killed her son. Yeah. And she forgets that she once fell in love with a human, right? She forgets that her children are part human.
I guess we just, to make sure everybody's clear, we are going to talk spoiler heavy in this movie. In this
I guess what I talked about was only like the very beginning of the movie, so thank you for doing that. I feel I kind of feel stupid for that one.
No, it's all right. But there's a scene, we're getting into spoilers, where Jake and Neytiri are talking, and they have this great argument. It's like one of my favorite scenes, where she's talking about how she hates the Pinkskins and how they've killed her son, they've abandoned her from her people, she's lost everything, and she just hates them so much. And he's saying, and Jake is like, well, I used to be a Pinkskin, but that's the guy you fell in love with, and your children, they're half Pinkskin, I guess. They're half
They
human.
have 5 fingers.
Yeah. Do you hate them too? And then it's so...
Like, do you blame the mistakes and differences of your children on the fact that they're human?
And she says yes. Like, she's truly, like, torn and devastated by everything that's happening, that all she can feel is hate. And then you get that great quote where it's like, we can't live in hate, by Jake Sully. And that's the exact opposite of Quaritch and the newest character, Varong, who the two people who only live in hate, and that's kind of what they thrive on. And that's kind of the yin and yang of Jake and Neytiri and
they're an
Quaritch and
absolute
Varang.
foil for those characters, because, you know, in the original movie we see Neytiri teaching Jake her world and the world of Pandora. In this movie, you kind of see Varang learning the guns and the steel and the military and the industrial side of everything. Like, she kind of seeks to use that raw power to dominate, to continue to dominate. And I think there's a parallel you could even draw between these characters and like stuff that's happening in real life, where, a community of people is so traumatized by something that's happened to them. In Varong's case, her village was destroyed by a volcano,
Hmm.
and in
She lost basically her religion with Awa because she felt like they weren't there to help them and protect them, and so she's kind of backfired and went against everything that the Na'vi people really stand for.
yeah, and so she seeks to become the very fire that destroyed her people because she's like, oh, that could never happen again.
Yeah.
Like, and so you see how the things we'll do to protect ourselves from reliving past pain and trauma, is that we'll become the inflictors of that same trauma on other people.
Yeah.
And that's what she's doing. And so then she's teaming up with essentially like the military and is like, give me all your weapons and stuff so that I can continue to dominate. And there's real life scenarios where this kind of thing happens.
Yeah, it's basically Israel, with how their counterattack from all the events of World War II has kind of made them the bad guy, because they're so scared of it happening again, and them feeling like they're not going to be able to defend themselves from something like that they'll that they start fighting everybody and everything, and they become the very oppressors that they once fought against.
Yep, and then the fire and ash cycle continues.
Exactly, and that's what's happening in Gaza. So there's much more to this movie than I think a lot of people are even giving credit to. Like, there's so many great themes and ideas implemented in this movie that are very they're very human, and like it's happening here and in this world. The way that we process grief, the way that we process revenge and hate, and also the way that the movie overcomes that stuff with community, love, and respect and
courage. It's like all about. I mean, a lot of what this movie is exploring is like, how do we fight against that cycle and try to break out of it and try to find another way besides just continuing it, because it really at certain points does feel like there's no other way to protect ourselves than to continue the cycle and to become the very thing that hurt us, so that we don't get hurt again. And you kind of have to, you see these characters say, no, there has to be another way. We have to find another way. Or they say, no, there's no other way.
And there's the one scene with Jake feeling like he has to literally kill Spider, because Spider now has the ability to breathe the Na'vi air, and he's developing the
kudu.
Yeah, and that could be used by the military to give humans, and that would make their ability to come and live on Pandora like an ability. They could they could completely colonize the planet when you're able to actually live it, like without the boundaries of not being able to breathe the air.
Yeah.
And so he feels that the only way to stop that from happening is just eliminating Spider altogether. And it's such a great scene, even though, and we'll talk about this a little later, I'm not a huge fan of the actor for Spider, Jack Champion, and his way of acting at least, but it's a great scene where they both realize that this is not the way. Yeah. This is if Jake actually kills Spider, then he's just becoming another Varang. He's just becoming
because he's basically saying, I'm so afraid of what happened to Neteyam happening to more people that I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna basically do what was done to Neteyam to this other guy.
And I love that in the scene Spider calls him Dad, because that's basically his dad, even though Quaritch is his biological father. and he asks if he still loves him, and he's like, with all my heart. Like it's such a like it's such a great emotional moment, and it's like if you're a father, would you kill your own son for the? No, you wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to find another way to combat hate.
Yeah. And even Neytiri realizes this.
Yeah.
You know, in this scene, she was dressed up as one of the Ash people to break Jake Sully out of capture. And so she's washing that makeup off of her face, and it's red. And she looks at her hands, and she sees the red paint on her hands. And I think that's symbolic of, like, the blood is on our hands if we do this.
Yeah.
And she kind of has this realization. She goes to stop Jake from doing it, even though at the beginning of the film, she was the one that was first like, we have to kill this guy. You know?
Well, in the last film, she almost like she took him hostage, and she was like,
Yeah.
gonna kill him too. And
you know,
she comes by,
yeah.
and she says, "I see you" to Spider, and "I see you" to the Na'vi is basically just saying, "I love you," and I see who you are, and I love you, basically.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was such a beautiful moment for the characters.
Yeah. It really is essential to all of the themes. And I mean, tying in with Spider is Kiri. They have like a
romance,
step bro relationship in this movie.
I think
I mean, technically, Kiri's not related to the Sullys, and Spider's not related to the Sullys.
Yeah.
They just treat them like family.
Yeah, they're just what do you call it?
Surrogate children, basically.
Yeah, they are a family, but Carrie and Spider. I guess the movie's kind of really sparking the romance that they're gonna have. I would assume in the later movies.
Yeah.
And I really love the Kiri character in this movie, especially because well, you find out that she's basically like Jesus.
Yeah.
She was born without a father, and she was born through Awa, basically.
She's like
an
Anakin
extension.
Skywalker.
Yeah, she's like very Star Wars like. She's like an extension of Awa, but she also is having trouble actually being able to connect with Awa, and there's these moments in where she's trying to kind of get to her, but the Awa's too much and too bright, and she isn't able to like get there without the help of Spider and Took, who are able to also connect and kind of help push her towards actually talking to Awa and asking for help that is like beyond the physical world.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Well, and it goes back to the very first movie when all the scientists were studying Pandora, and they were studying the trees, and they were looking into the roots and finding that everything is connected. The neuros within everything is connected, and when they're able to basically plug in with Awa, they're able to transmit their memories and their emotions, and everything is kind of stored within the planet, and which is both really cool on a sci-fi level, but I also think that gives way for the more magical stuff to have meaning, I guess, in a way.
So what I think is going on is there is a bit of a fate element to it, where Spider, his masks are failing at the beginning of the movie, and then Kiri has to, in an act of kind of love, like try to, she just intuitively like gives him the ability to breathe through Awa. And what I think is crazy is that if Jake had gone through with killing Spider, they wouldn't have won that battle, because Spider has to plug in. He has to have the ability to plug in.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it was the will of Awa in a way to give Spider that ability, because him and Kiri's bond is so strong that he would go to help her, and he would plug in, and then they would be able to push through together. And also Took, like they say, oh, Took, stay behind, don't follow us. But Took doesn't listen
Yeah.
and goes down there. And it's the characters and their love for one another that allows them to push past, and then they make contact with Awa. So when they say, "Oh, Kiri's just Deus Ex Machina," Awa just saves them every time.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's these characters and their decisions that add up to these moments where they're able to connect to their spiritual truth, to the core of the planet, and to nature. Because I think Awa is basically just the heart of Pandora, the heart of the nature. And I think these movies are about nature. They're about how every being is connected, and how we kind of try to, like, Varong uses her kudu to dominate other people and to scare them, and so she connects and binds with them, and then she just like tries to take over their mind. And that's not what it's about. It's like a mutual connection between two people, but she's abusing it and trying to use it to dominate. And Courage doesn't even ever connect to anything. He doesn't even think about it. He just doesn't believe that he needs to be any different now that he's Na'vi.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean? This changes a lot of stuff for you, man. Like, you need to open your eyes. And so
even Jake Sully tells him, like, you're living in a different world now. Like,
yeah. And every character is trying to find their place in the great balance.
Yeah.
Whether they know it or not.
And I think Quarch and Varang are truly the perfect kind of couple, because when she tries to overtake him, he's one of the few people that isn't able to, like, really let her do that. Like, he's like on her level. And when I think there's a moment where she's like, I don't remember exactly what's been said. I've only seen this movie once, but he says that he doesn't bow down to anybody. Like, he doesn't follow anybody. He's like, and I think his that is him, who, as a person, like, he's such a independent and
the thing is,
like,
he
powerful person in his own mind, that he's like, nobody could tell him what to do, and he's always going to get the higher up if he can have the chance. And not even one of the more powerful Na'vi could overtake him. And that's why she respects him as well, because he's like, no, we're on the same level. You can't force me to do anything.
Well, I also think it's funny. I think Courage is kind of mistaken in that regard, because he says that, but he's a soldier.
He's still, he follows the military, and I think, if anything, he uses everything around him as a way to get what he wants.
Yes.
So all these characters are super great and interesting and really truly fleshed out, and that's why it's very annoying when people are like, what's the name of the main character again?
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
if you pay attention, these are interesting dynamics at play. Yeah. And, like, there's a difference between using tropes in these new contexts and new stakes, and just being lazy and repetitive and, like, the same story. Like, I just genuinely do not understand how you can watch this movie and be like, that was the same story as the other two.
Yeah, it's not. And I was saying this earlier, it's like, in aspects, obviously, they're going to follow certain, like, plot trajectories, like the movies, and the things that they do, like certain battles and whatnot. Sure, I guess you could say that's kind of similar with each movie, but what they're doing is why they're doing these things are all different.
The dramatic stakes are completely different.
Yeah, the motivations for what these characters are doing are very different from 1 to 2 to 3.
I mean, look at, okay, so the thing about movies is, like, in order for a movie to be human and have that human quality, there has to be something recognizable about it. There has to be some kind of experience or emotional truth to the movie that you can kind of identify with or understand. Like, if you were to show... The point of these movies is, like, you can look at events happening in the world around you, because they're not happening to you, maybe.
Yeah.
You can't really see... They kind of seem far away, like you're not, like, a part of it. and you kind of have the privilege of just kind of turning the other way when you look at actual colonization that's happening, actual genocide that's happening. A lot of people don't really give it that much thought. Whereas if you watch this movie and you kind of get wrapped up in the visual splendor of Pandora and all of the experience of it all, then it kind of weaves in those themes about colonization, about oppressors and all this stuff going on, and how cycles repeat and throughout history. Then you kind of like come out and you look around at the world and you're like, oh, right. So it's not supposed to be like this alien story. You have to have, it has to be a human story about aliens.
Exactly. Yeah. And each movie, I think, represents a different theme. Like, I think this movie obviously represents grief. I think the second movie represents trauma. And the first movie, I think that just represents compassion and like opening yourself up to new cultures and like that full experience of wanting to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And if you kind of look at these movies through different thematic lenses, then they're not the same movie. You're not repeating things over and over again. Sure, like, and the thing between this movie and Way of Water is that this is more like they're like a 2-movie arc between the beginning of Way of Water to the end of this movie. Like the whole the Pycon like stuff, that's a 2-movie arc. They didn't resolve anything. Well,
yeah, the Pycon helped them in the fight.
Yeah,
but the Pycon had not rejoined its clan yet.
Yeah,
at the end of that film,
like it's very like the second movie was very much leading on to the third movie. Like it wasn't a clear-cut ending. Like there certain things have been resolved, but it was very much open to this movie happening. Like you can't just end the second movie and just be like, okay, it's done, it's over. This is very much a second to that movie, and I know that some people don't like that. They wanted this to kind of be different and kind of stand on its own, but how were you going to get that with the end of the second movie? This was obviously going to be like a continuation to that. And even when they were making the original Avatar 2, these 2 movies were supposed to be one movie, but they cut it in half because obviously it's very long and you're kind of developing all these characters at the same time, and you can't tell everything like within that shortcut of like limiting all these characters and plots into one movie. You have to cut it into 2 so you could really develop them out. And so that's why I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with 4 and 5, because I think that's what people are going to get that they didn't really get in this movie, is something more different, more expansive, and they're really growing out Pandora, which they do in this movie. But I think we're going to get a bit more of that with that movie, because 4 and 5 are going to be like the Avatar 3 that they thought they were going to get with this movie.
Yeah. I do believe that that's true. I think people just had a little bit of misplaced expectations with this film.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why it's being received a little... Like, also, it's just the 3-year gap as opposed to the 13-year gap between the last 2. So, like, if you're looking at it... you have a more recent memory of this world, you're going to be like, oh, that's kind of the same. It's like, yeah, because we're picking up where we left off, bro. We're picking up the story where we left off. Loak is another character that's, again, going through kind of similar things.
He narrates the movie. This is kind of his movie in a sense.
He narrates it, and then if we get the 4th one, actually, Sigourney Weaver will be narrating that one. So I hope we do get to see that. But, yeah, he narrates this film. He... is it's kind of interesting because I think he starts the movie with a spirit world scene with Neteyam where he is explaining to Neteyam how he died, and Neteyam is very accepting of it. He's just like, yeah, okay, then we had to go back, and that's okay, it's not your fault.
I also love that beginning because when you start it off, you think, oh, this is a flashback to when
That's
they were.
what I thought. Yeah.
And then you find out, oh, they're with AWOL right now, and they're just kind of connecting with him in the afterlife, I guess. And I just think that's really cool. First of all, the fact that you could just kind of plug in and see your relatives and your people that have passed away. And I think that's why the Na'vi are so well connected, and they have such a strong community, because they're able to continue to be with their loved ones even after grieving and after pretty much after the fact that, you know, they're gone from the physical world. They're still able to develop their emotions with them and like really get that resolve. And he kind of does get that, even in that very first scene where he's talking to Tam, and he's like, "You died, but you know," and he gets that resolve from the Tam, being like, "It's okay." It was, and like, yet he still feels
like afterwards that it's his fault, and I think almost everyone in the movie, in the family at least, kind of feels like they have blame. For Neteyam's death. And so, you know, again, you're seeing how it all affects them differently. I love the scene between Loak and Jake as well, when they're talking about the Payakan outcasting him and Loak standing up for the Payakan, but Jake doesn't do anything about it, even though he probably knows it is the right thing to do. He's not doing anything about it because he wants to keep laying low. He doesn't want to draw attention to their village. And then they argue, and he even like almost blames Loak for Neteyam's death, and then Loak's like, no, it's not my fault.
Yeah, and then we have the scene where Loak is contemplating suicide, which is pretty heavy stuff. And I think it's also really, really great that the movie, even in the credits, they have the little like hotline where it's like, if you have mental illness or if you feel down.
I think if you portray something like that, you have to put that. Or
I don't know if you have to put that, but you should put that, and they did do that, which is very, very good. But it also shows that it's like, and I love when Carrie comes up and it's like, this is not the way we don't like.
I think it's also Soraya that comes up.
And they pretty much tell him like, you're not meant to go early. You're not meant to like kill yourself and just end it all. Like obviously that's the case with anybody who's contemplating suicide. It's like, well, this is just an easy out. There's still more to it. There's still more that you could have and give, and he does with the bringing the Payakan together and like getting them all to pretty much attack the ships. And there's so much in this movie. Like there's so many themes and
that's
ideas.
The thing. Like they're saying,
heavy stuff too.
They're saying it's the same movie. There is a Council of Whales in this movie. I don't know if I've ever seen that shit in my life.
Yeah,
like
I did. I was kind of spoiled that on Twitter. So someone literally said there's there's a whale courtroom scene basically, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Now I need to see this movie more. But they do kind of have that, and it's really cool. They're kind of like the sandworms from Dune when they speak and the whole water vibrates. It's really cool.
I think everything in this movie is kind of contributing to like this idea that we all feel like we need to follow in footsteps and be the same as other people, but actually the way that we make change in the world is by being different. And embracing the ways that we are different. And
honestly, Loak and Jake are very similar to each other, even though they butt heads. Loak is just as much of a maverick as Jake is, and like going against the grain of what the community says.
It's just I think Jake is kind of set in his ways now at this point because he kind of he's like feels like he's gotten to a point where he understands what's going on, and Loak has to challenge now what Jake is doing, because the thing about a community or just society in general is that we're never done. There's never like a point where we kind of settle in and we're done and we're cool, because to fight against evil rising again, is a constant effort. You
Yeah.
have to constantly be evolving and questioning your ways and challenging things. And I
Yeah.
think Loak is doing that for Jake, whereas Jake was doing that in the first movie
Yeah.
for a lot of the humans.
But I mean, even Jake still has it in him. He just doesn't. He doesn't see it, and he doesn't want to take part in it again. And when he's like, I will not be the Taruk Makto anymore. And then I forget his name, but Cliff Curtis's character, he's like, you'll always be Taruk Makto.
Yeah.
And I think that's also great because it shows that you're never gonna lose the sides that kind of made you great in like whatever you're doing in your life. You could always go back to that, and
Yeah.
you could bring what really brought everybody together back together, and they do that when he flies the Taruk again.
I love this. I'm not trying to get off topic, but I do love the scene at the end where Jake is fighting Courage, and Courage and Spider fall off the cliff at one time, and they're hanging. Like, you have to get both of them up to get one of them up.
Yeah.
Right? Or else you just drop either of them, both
Yeah.
of them. So I think it's this great microcosm moment of, like, the fact that without Courage, we do not get Spider.
Yeah.
And so there is kind of it becomes clear that we needed Courage in the equation at one point or another.
In that aspect, Courage is the fire and Spider's the ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, like, the whole movie is very cyclical in that way. You need one thing for the other, and sometimes that one thing might be bad, but at least you get the other thing.
Yeah, but the existence of the other thing does not mean that you need to turn into that first thing again. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you get like again, I bring this up all the time with the Avatar movies because I love it so much, but a quote from Stephen Lang, he's like, Courage is part of the fabric of Pandora, even if it's to test it. He is the friction. He is the thing that is constantly going to kind of push against what's going on, and then so that it forces it to grow through that friction.
It's the ability of bringing the Na'vi people back together, even if that means they're gonna go against one bad thing. Like, the Taruk Makto was like a legend to those people. It's like, no one's done that in our lifetimes or in a long time. But then you have to get someone like Jake Sully to come in to bring that. That's why
without the humans trying to colonize a planet and get that resource, Jake Sully would have never shown up.
Yeah, and this is like, again, this is why it feels so biblical to me and so epic in that sense. It's like you need these big figures to really change in motion of what's happening, and it's so awesome.
But it's not. I do like that it shows that Jake Sully is not like the end all be all. Like, he's not just him.
He's still like, very flawed.
Yeah, the Turok Makto couldn't get the Paiken together. Loak had to do that.
Yeah,
it's like everyone has a place in this thing, in this great balance of everything.
Yeah, and I mean, Jake would not be anything of who he is without Neytiri.
Yeah.
And like, even she helps him escape from that one scene, like when what's his face, Dr. Garvin.
Yeah,
when
Clement.
Yeah, when he helps him escape, and he's like, "What's the plan?" He's like, "I don't have a plan." He's like, "Okay, so the plan is Neytiri."
Yeah.
Because like there were so many moments in this movie where it's like, are they actually going to kill this character right now? This would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, when Neytiri falls, like, I was like, there's no way they're killing her off.
Yeah.
But they don't. They do have that great moment where you have the character kind of like fall, like not just physically, but like emotionally, and like they're at the lowest point in their life, but they have to like grow back and really get back to the point where they need to be who they are.
I think there's a motif in this movie with that, because Neytiri, Courage, and Jake all sustain an arrow wound at some point that stops them from doing something. Like, she falls down, she has to get healed back up, and they all do like the same thing where they like break it off, Jake at one point gets shot and he packs the wound in with the arrow, and it's actually a really cool moment.
It looks pretty, like, honestly pretty real.
Yeah. And then at the end, when Courage gets shot in the arm, he he can't lift Spider up, which means they both have to go up.
He was even like, if you didn't shoot me in my damn arm or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. So I think it's kind of showing like these characters, they're wounded, but it's like the wound is essential.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all like a learning point or an important moment for them. Also, if we're talking about that scene, I love. Well, basically, Courage quote unquote dies in the movie, but
we didn't actually see him. He fell. We could assume that he could have possibly died, but there's the fourth and the fifth movie.
I think
he could come back.
I think if the movie makes enough money, he didn't die.
Yeah.
That's what I think is just what's going on. It's like they're leaving it there. They could do something with it or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, he falls down and he goes, "Ain't this a bitch?" And he like throws himself off the cliff. And I think that's him kind of seeing. He finally sees the cycle. He's once again pulls up to save Spider. They have to save him. And then Neytiri and Loak, like everyone's like aiming at him. Jake's like, wait. It's like the same thing is happening over and over again. They have these moments where they make peace. They go their separate ways. They come back every single time. And I think Quaritch literally looks at it and he's like, this is never going to stop. Yeah. And he just removes himself from the equation.
I think that is one way of looking at it. I also think there's a Quaritch just being the bastard that he is. He's like, this is the only way that I could win.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go out on my own terms.
Yeah.
Or he's thinking, I need to come back later when I'm stronger. Maybe he has some kind of plan to get out of it. There's ways to look at it. But to me that kind of views as like that's how we should be looking at our world and being like, well, ain't this a fucking bitch? It's just happening again. Like people say these movies are repetitive. Bro, the world is repetitive.
Yeah.
Look around you at what is going on in the world right now, and it's like, this is scary familiar to stuff that has happened in history. Wow, I can't believe we're doing this again.
Exactly. Yeah,
I can't believe what's going on. Ain't this a fucking bitch? You know? and so I think it's just a perfect line. It's in character, and it kind of like really puts a bow on.
This is easily my favorite Quaritch.
Dude, he's like
so great.
He's always been one of my favorite parts of these movies, but this particular entry, they really utilize him so well. Yeah, and Varong on top of that is so good.
So good. I love her. She's so scary and so she's so attractive. Like everybody in there, everybody's just like, she's so hot, but she's also so scary. She's so great.
I think her being scary is part of the reason that she's hot as well.
She like I hope she's in the fourth. She has to be in the fourth one. Like she didn't die in this one. She was overtaken by Carrie, who is like has the power of A1 now, who's like one of the few that could actually overpower her, which is a great scene as well.
Yeah.
And there's just so many great scenes in this movie.
There's also like we've hit a lot of this point. We've kind of been hitting around this point for a while now, but I mean there is a lot of stuff about generational kind of passing of the torch sort of things going on in these movies with, you know, Loak and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, we also have Ronal, who dies and gives birth at the same time. She dies of a stab wound and has a child. And even Neytiri's like, your mother was powerful, you will be powerful. Yeah. Like,
this is the second time James Cameron has killed off Kate Winslet.
But literally passing on her life into a new life.
Yeah.
And so who knows what's going to happen with that character in the next movie.
Yeah. I mean, we could see her through Awa. She could probably come back.
No, I mean like the baby.
That's also true. We'll see what goes on. But I also think this movie is like the most James Cameron movie of all time. Like this is truly like an amalgamation of everything he's put in every one of his movies into one movie. Like the ability to see your dead loved ones in kind of this afterlife kind of setting is just like at the end of Titanic when she finally gets back and they're all the same. They're all there to welcome them. They have the same exact type of scene. There's the moment when Carrie's first trying to see Awa, but she kind of gets flashbanged into like getting back, and that same kind of imagery happens in Terminator 2. Them diving into the shipwreck and to get the guns,
like Titanic.
just like
a little bit of the Abyss as well.
A bit of the Abyss, a bit of the Titanic. all the mech stuff is very Terminator like, just
or
like
even aliens in some ways.
yeah, the husband wife dynamic can be very much like True Lies at certain points. They're like he really just like, this is, if anything, uh like this showcases what the auteur theory is really like all about. Like this is like he has a voice, and it really shines through. Like
Yeah.
this is very much a James Cameron movie, and I love it. I love seeing him like really like take on like everything that he loves and putting it in this movie.
And I also want to mention one of the things he probably loves that he put into it is David Thewlis.
That's when I saw that for the first time, I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it.
You immediately recognized it.
Yeah,
David
I was
Thewlis,
like,
so.
what?
It's amazing, and he fights with
Professor
a stick.
Lupin? What?
He
Naked?
fights-
Huh.
He
Interesting.
fights with a stick. He's
Crazy.
not naked in the movie.
No,
He's
I'm talking about the
naked.
movie. But yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. It's great. I love that they just got David Thewlis in the movie, but it was very apparent. It was like, oh wow, he's here.
Yeah, you can't miss him.
That whole action set piece in the sky with the big flying jellyfish, incredible stuff.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like,
Oh, also the little, sorry to cut you off, the little squid things that attack in the water, they have miniature mouths that come out and bite, and I'm like, that's like the xenomorph.
true.
The little
I
mini-
mean, I think they are supposed to be like squid beaks.
Okay,
If you watch a squid beak,
maybe
it's
the
the same.
xenomorph is from. I don't know.
But I mean, yeah. I guess there could be a connection like that too.
Anyway, you were talking about the air.
Oh yeah, it's just like, and obviously this is what the big draw for the movies. But the spectacle in this movie is so epic and so insane. The action is so awesome. And like how some of them come across, like when one of the Varang's like guys does like a kamikaze self fire thing into it. That's one of the that's like Mad Max level stuff right here. Like this is some Mad Max level stuff we're watching.
Yeah,
and it's awesome. It's so cool.
they were. I did hear someone compare them to like the War Boys, like her group.
Yeah. They wear that kind of like ash paint kind of stuff going on. There was also this awesome, like everything. There's so much detail and so much thought put into these movies that someone mentioned that whenever Varang is walking, she's very uptight and like tall, and all of her little minions, they never get above her heart.
Slouch.
Yeah, they all never get above her because they're not supposed to get above her at any point.
Yeah, so like there's character building with these guys that's not explicit dialogue and showing flashbacks and shit. We get her backstory explained by her once.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we get imagery like that. We get them saying we are the fire constantly.
Yeah.
Like we are going to become the fire that initially took our community away.
Yeah.
And that's just like, it's kind of the most, I guess, the rawest form of the theme is explored through this group of characters.
Yeah.
And it's kind of illuminating like exactly what the other characters and the main characters are going through, but it's like this is the path you're on. And that's typically what is done with villains like this.
Yeah.
You know?
And that leads to a lot of people's criticism is that there isn't enough legitimate fire.
Look,
in the
I
movie.
understand that on an aesthetic level. I know that, I don't actually hold that against the movie, but I do understand wanting more like volcanoes and like more of the ash community and trying to see like what they eat, what they do. Like I think that that's all very interesting to explore. It's not servicing the story of what this movie wants to tell, so it's not in the movie. But I can understand the longing for that because it all would be really cool to see.
Sure, yeah. I think at no point during the movie or after the movie was I like, oh man, there need to be more fire in it. But until I started hearing people complain about it, and I'm like, what do you guys watch the movie for what it's trying to do, what it's trying to say, what it's trying to be. Well, yeah, I kind of understand if you're going to a movie and he calls it Fire and Ash, that might set an expectation. But like when you're watching the movie, like at what point are you?
Very early in the film, they explain what the title means.
Yeah.
Basically.
At what point are you like, oh, I need more. I need more fire right now. I need more, like there's literally a guy that sets himself on fire. And
well,
like,
I do get that. Like late in the movie, you might be like, oh, the climax is on water again. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it again. This is just, and this is not a critique. This is a second part of Way of Water. This is the continuation of that story, and that's where it's going to take place. When, like, if you wanted it to happen at like a volcano ashy type area, like when we see Varong, it doesn't make sense for that to happen. At what point are these guys gonna go to Varong's like tribe and like fight her there?
Right. Well, obviously, these people are saying that the whole movie needed to be different. But here's the thing: in the second movie, Way of Water, you do get a lot of literal water and exploring. But also, I think part of that is we haven't seen Pandora in 13 years, so we're learning a new side of it because James Cameron is starting a new story in Pandora after it kind of closed in 2009. So it's like, okay, let's open a new chapter of Pandora. So what's this going to be? Okay, so I'm going to introduce a water tribe and a fire tribe.
Yeah.
And the first half, we're going to do the water tribe. So a lot of it, they're kind of good guys, so we're going to learn about them.
Yeah.
The Ash people are not good guys, so you
They
only see them through the villain.
Yeah, we only see him through the eyes of Quaritch, really, and he's not exactly the main character. He's the main antagonist, I guess, but he's not really exploring their culture. They're exploring his.
Because this movie is showing the Sully family avoid falling into those traps and avoid repeating that cycle and try to fight against it. Whereas Quaritch, he's the villain, so he is kind of embracing that.
Yeah.
He's kind of showing what they could be doing and that's bad.
Yeah.
And anyway, the thing is, if you wanted this movie to be, okay, we're going to go to this fire tribe now, and we're going to learn their ways, and we're going to learn about them, and we're going to introduce these new creatures, and then we're going to have a big fight at a volcano at the end. That's the same movie.
Yeah.
That's the same movie, but with fire instead of water.
Yeah.
This movie is interweaving like a lot of different shit, and it's continuing the story of Way of Water.
Yeah.
And introducing new characters. This is a different movie. It's paced differently. It's got so much new shit in it. It's got plenty of new set pieces. Yeah, the whales are still in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't resolve the whales in the second movie.
They serve a different purpose in the climax in this movie than in the last movie.
Yeah.
Right? They're not passive anymore. Yeah. They've decided to stand up and fight with everybody else because Loak convinced them to do so.
Yeah. And man, the criticisms about the story and like no cultural significance, or it's just it's the same thing being told again, or it's repetitive. Like, are you guys watching the same movie? Are you guys even thinking about the movie after the fact? Are you guys like in digesting what the movie is trying to say and what it's trying to be? Of course you're not. You're so used to, again, all these IPs just throwing stuff at you and just like making you numb to everything that's happening, that you don't have to look deeper than what's being shown. This is James Cameron we're talking about. This is like, yes, it is big spectacle, advancement in technology for filmmaking, and the dude's a genius, but because he's a genius, and I do mean that he's a genius, there's much more to him as well. Like, every single one of his films are based in relationships between people, and like and that's what this movie is just a bunch of relationships and how they can be flawed, and they're going through grief and they're going through anger, but they're also going through love and acceptance and like resolve, and you're not getting that from a lot of these other movies. And that's why when you're not getting that from all these other movies, you think that that's all that movies could offer. No, they offer way more than that. They offer deeper thought and deeper themes And that's what James Cameron's giving you with these movies. But you just want to see the surface level and be like, oh, it's the same stuff again. We're just in Pandora again. Yeah, that's the movie
That's where it takes place.
What are you talking about? How is this movie the same exact thing as the last movie, other than like the obvious spectacle of it? No, it's more than just the spectacle. It's about the relationship between the characters. My favorite scenes in the movie are literally just Jake Sully and Nateri like arguing with each other. Yeah. It's like when it's these conflicts that are happening with the characters. It's Varong and Quaritch like getting to know each other and like trying to one up each other,
and but they find out that they're equals. And you're seeing the inverse of the first film through them. Like that's new shit.
Yeah,
it's all these like all these curious questions of like, okay, what if we put this in Pandora? What if this happened? Like they're exploring avenues in this that were not explored in the other movies.
Yeah,
that you did not get in the other movies.
Your critiques are weak. Get better. Watch more movies. Like, what are you guys talking about? If you want to talk about a critique that I understand and I agree with, I don't think Jack Champion's like the greatest actor in the world. I think he's not bringing the best to that character, but it's also slightly understandable why he kind of acts in such a weird, corny, outlandish ways, because he's not a human from Earth. He's a kid that was born in Pandora, like the Na'vi. He's kind of he has all these cultural differences that humans from America on Earth are not going to have. He's going to talk different. He's going to act different. His emotions are going to be different. They even say he's like a stray cat. He's kind of like the pet dog in this movie in some aspects, where he's just kind of this little lovable guy that everybody just wants to like take care of and like be friends with, and he's a brother to them. And so he has these like awkward and like kind of cheesy moments where he's like, I can breathe. He's just a kid that's all he wants in his world, is to like be a part of the Na'vi culture and like have fun with them and like interact with them the way that they interact with each other. And so, yes, I don't think he's the best actor in the world. I do think the one scene, which is great, where where Jake is like trying to kill him or is about to kill him, he kind of lessens the scene just slightly, even though I still love what the scene is trying to bring to it. And that's like honestly my biggest criticism of the movie is just I think just his acting. But I think the character itself makes sense, and I think I don't mind the character himself.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's if I had to take a stab at this movie, I would say that is probably the easiest thing for me to see. But I don't even think it's that invalid to be like, oh, I really wanted more fire aesthetics in the movie. I wanted it to feel more aesthetically different.
Yeah.
On an elemental level from the last movie. Okay, like I understand that. But I think you also need to recognize what the movie is actually called Fire and Ash for, why it's called that, what it's actually trying to explore, that it's not supposed to be so literal.
Yeah.
Whereas what you're saying about Jack Champion is like, yeah, we don't really love his acting, but you also see why he's probably performing the character in that way, what he's going for. You kind of have to like meet in the middle a little bit and be like, what are they actually trying to do, and why isn't it working?
Yeah.
Entirely.
And I mean, I'll even say that, like I said, James Cameron, like one of my favorite directors of all time. I love all of his movies, like without a doubt. Honestly, I truly do. Like when I watch his movies, I don't really go into them thinking, oh man, why didn't this movie win an Academy Award? Why didn't this Titanic did win a bunch of Academy, but like I'm not going in like being like this movie needs to be like perfect on every aspect and every level. I don't think he's ever been a good director for children, like John Connor in Terminator 2. I love that character. I love Edward Furlong in that role. Is he a good actor? I don't think so. I think he's pretty bad. Like even as a child, I don't think he was the greatest child actor, but I mean, that also that lends itself to that charm of watching a James Cameron movie, where his dialogue feels like a James Cameron dialogue. It's not like how people normally talk. He kind of adds this little flair to them that I like, and he does that obviously here with Avatar, even though he's not the sole writer. They actually the two of the co-writers, Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, they're a couple. They're married. They actually had a son who died, and I think they lended a lot of that grieving to this movie that I think added quite a bit to it, and which is great.
Yeah, so it has a real grounding in something that actually happened.
Yeah, but it's all about style, and not everybody's gonna vibe with it. I understand that, but you also gotta meet the movie at the level that of what it's trying to do and what it's trying to say. You can't just like go in and be like, they didn't have what I wanted, so it's a bad movie. It's not about what you want. It's about what the movie's trying to say and what the movie's trying to do.
It's true, and you don't have to, like, here's the thing. If you didn't like what the movie did and you would have preferred it to be different, that is fine. But you have to at least acknowledge that the movie is doing something else. It's just not what you would have wanted. It's just not a movie you prefer. Like,
Yeah.
I hate bringing this up, but every single person that criticizes Trap, that like aggressively, and I've seen a lot, I look at a lot, you know, I have never gone to one of those like videos where people are hating on the movie and seen a person actually acknowledge what the movie is actually about, literally, objectively, what it's about.
Yeah.
They always say the same thing. They're like criticizing it for what it's not trying to be.
Yeah.
And every single person, nobody mentions two very simple truths, which are, this movie is about a serial killer having feelings and what that's like, and this movie is about what it's like to put your daughter in a movie.
Yeah.
If you are not acknowledging those two things, which are the movie,
Yeah.
I'm not listening to your criticisms of this movie, because you can get on it for having like too much suspension of disbelief. It has too much, but it's the same thing with this movie. It's like you can't like look at the it's called Fire and Ash, and there's just not enough literal fire in the movie. The title is called Fire and Ash for a philosophical reason, not a literal reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're, the movie just a style over substance, the visuals, you take those out and nothing's left. You don't just take visuals out of movies.
Yeah.
The half the storytelling is done visually in movies most of the time. Like, you have to have the visuals and you have to have the style to form an actual new context for the emotional groundwork of the story. There's so many movies about grief.
Yeah.
So many movies have come out this year about grief.
Yeah.
Eternity is about grief. Bring Her Back is about grief. The Shrouds is about grief. None of them have any fucking thing in common with Avatar, Fire and Ash beyond that simple fact. So these are not the same movie. Yeah. Right? If Avatar was the same movie, then nobody would go see it in the theater all the time. Like, it's just that we have to ground a story in a human emotion or a human experience, and then build a world that is unique around it, and that's what these are. Yeah. So I don't see why it seems to be these movies where people are just like, yeah, but if you take everything that's unique about the movie out, there's nothing unique left. That's literally what somebody literally said. That they were like, oh, the story is just the same. And I said, well, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me why. And they said to me, okay, well, they get into a fight, they lose, then they get saved by Awa. You just took out all the stakes, all the characters, everything that everyone's going through in the story, why they're fighting, every bit of context you've taken out, and you've stripped it down. Yeah.
That's like, Star Wars. Like, that's like I know I keep bringing back Star Wars as well with all these movies. It's just like, how could you give so much credit to the original Star Wars trilogy and not do the same with all these other movies that are in basically the same genre or the same type or field of movie? It's like that happens in Star Wars. They do something, they fail, and then the Force saves them. Like, wow. Amazing, cool. That happens in most fantasy films or sci-fi movies. This movie, like, shoot, this movie reminds me a lot of like Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and sorry, and like so many great stuff. Like and you don't see filmmakers of this caliber and of this world building sense in movies these days. You do not. Like, this is
you see
really
maybe
one in
the Dune movies are going on, but that's an adaptation.
That's an adaptation of a book that people have loved for years and years, and
that's an inspiration on this, by the way.
Yeah,
Dune,
yeah. There's so many inspirations that bring all these great movies together. That's why even in the Kill Bill episode, I was like, it's okay to steal from other movies. You have to. It's called homaging.
Because it's all in a different emotional context.
Yeah, and nobody is building a world through the lens of film as great and as detailed and as loving as James Cameron for the Avatar movies.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to say that this movie is the same as other movies, you need to explain how its exploration of these emotions, of grief, of cyclical conflict, of all of this stuff, is the same as other movies exploring the same thing. Yeah. Because all you are doing is you're stripping it down to... You're taking everything out of the movie and then just saying, oh, but the whales are in it still. Also, a character that I think is important to make this point with is Scoresby, who is the Tulkun hunter character that loses his arm in Way of Water.
I thought he died, but when I saw him back in this movie, I was like, oh, shit.
In this movie, he has a robotic arm, and everyone probably is tempted to say, oh, they're just repeating the same thing again with this character. No, the character is literally repeating the same mistake, even though he lost his arm.
Yeah.
This character is...
It's such
is symbolic.
It's still this is a damning take on why capitalism is so bad. Like, he's still doing the same shit, even though he's lost his arm. But he's like, there's $100 billion right there. It's like, so.
Look at literally what is going on with this guy. He lost his arm, and it was replaced by a machine.
Yeah.
His humanity is being stripped away piece by piece.
Yeah.
And yet he is still saying, but there's money. I have to go for the money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the damage he's doing to the environment of this planet and the damage he is doing to the lives of people and to himself.
Culture, yeah, everything.
To himself. It's not just about what we're doing in the environment. It's what we do to the environment affects us. What we're doing to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason that the humans in this film need to go live on Pandora because Earth is so bad.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same things that they were doing to Earth on Pandora. They're basically speed running, destroying this environment and trying to colonize this planet because that's what we're doing. Look around. Look at what we're doing in real life. We're not thinking, we objectively know for a fact that what we're doing is awful for the environment. But you know what? Let's keep developing AI. Let's keep doing it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It just
guys, fire and ash.
Yeah.
That's what it means. That's what the movie's about. It is So, yes, you're going to see cycles repeat because that's what you're seeing outside your window, too.
Yeah. This movie is truly great. Like, the Avatar movies, the trilogy is like one of the best trilogies that I know of, that I've seen. Sure, not a lot of people will 100% agree with that, but James Cameron is just working on such a different level than and most other directors out there. Like, he's doing stuff and saying stuff that, like, you just don't see in these big spectacle movies anymore. Like, it's he's bringing back the good times. In a way, he's bringing back what movies are really meant to be. And watch this movie in theaters. Like, I know it's gonna make so much money already, but like, if you're one of the people who are trying to hang behind and be like, oh, I'll just wait until it's on. No, watch it in theater. Watch it in 3D if you can.
Watch it in IMAX.
Watch it in 40X if you want. That's really cool too.
Yeah.
Just watch it with the crowd. I remember when we were watching it, there was like a pretty audible audience member behind me that was just gasping and like saying, oh no, and like they were really getting into it with the movie, and like I could just feel that with the entire audience. Like, and I work at a movie theater. I've worked this movie once before, and like I just watched the audience and they're just like mesmerized. They're just like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's great. And you're not going to get that experience at home. And I mean, I've watched Avatar at home many a time. Watched the director's cut. That's also really good though for the first movie. And it's still great watching it at home and like with these characters, but it is a really different experience when you actually watch it on the big screen when all this is going down. And if you watch it in 3D, it's just as immersive and expansive as anything else. Like it's great. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. I am actually going to give Avatar Fire and Ash 5 out of 5 apples in the box.
I would need to give it another watch, but I will also say 5 out of 5.
Because I think, well, it's one of my favorite movies of the year. And I would say, yeah, there's critiques I have of it, like small stuff.
Yeah.
Like Jack Champion just kind of not selling it fully in certain scenes and stuff. But it's like the experience overall, everything that it's trying to do and say, I feel like is actually rather relevant.
Yeah.
And a lot deeper than people are giving it credit for, and a lot more, like, I guess, just necessary.
Yeah.
For this world of Pandora, I think that it really feels like a natural, inevitable chapter in this world, but it's also surprising in a lot of ways, and it has a lot of exciting moments and things that you wouldn't expect to see in it, and it's cool that it's coming out right now because it's a movie that kind of fits the times, I think, a little bit as well.
I mean, I think I'm just repeating what I've said, but 2025 is like the best year of movies, like I think ever. Like at this point, I think this is the best year of movies of all time.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could argue, 2019. You could argue 1939. You could argue 2007.
I think you meant to say 1999.
No, 1939. That's when Wizard of Oz came out. That's when Gone with the Wind came out, and all these great movies. But no, this is like every movie is great. Every movie that's come out this year that I've seen, at least, is like great. Like for what the movies are trying to do, fantastic. Like this is the greatest movie of this is the greatest year for movies of all time, just in my opinion. I like.
Well,
I
really
can't.
excited to see your ranking then.
It's. I mean, it's gonna be hard, but it's also gonna be fun because it's like. It's crazy. It's like how do you have a year in which The Secret Agent isn't probably going to be in my top 10 movies? Like that's insane.
Very few duds and things that fell short of expectations this year. The only one I can think of right now that like really like let me down was him.
Oh yeah.
Him.
Well, to be honest,
I didn't have like high expectations.
To be honest, I did not think that movie was going to be good at any point. Even when I watched the trailer for the first time, I was not convinced that it was going to be good.
Well, I thought it could be solid for sure.
I mean, that's just me, but every movie that I was hoping to be good was either really good or exceeded my expectations for this year, which is just unheard of in my lifetime, at least.
Yeah.
Marty Supreme, don't let me down. Don't let me down. It's not going to let me down. That movie's going to be great. I just know it.
Ah, shit. I can't even wait to see the SpongeBob and the Housemaid and Anaconda.
I mean,
I could like all
of
those.
Let me tell you, I'm excited for Anaconda and the Housemaid. And I've seen parts of SpongeBob, but that movie looks fun as hell too. I'm sold for all those movies.
Yeah, it looks great. All right, well, I guess that wraps up our discussion on Avatar, Fire and Ash for today.
Any predictions on what's going to happen in the fourth movie?
No, I don't even want to. Like, it's going to be off the chain. Fuck, I mean...
They say there's going to be another time jump. It's going to be 8 years, which is another thing why I wasn't, like... about the whole Fire and Ash thing and like having a brand new movie is that there's not a time jump at all within the last movie and this movie. It's like it's such a continuation. There was a big time jump between the first movie and the second movie, and there's going to be a big time jump between this movie and the fourth movie. So that's why I think the fourth and the fifth movie are going to kind of be like the true like third movie trilogy thing going on.
I guess my prediction would be
I think Varang is going to come back.
Varong is definitely going to come back.
I have a theory that she might have a child with Quaritch.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good theory. I think Took will be more present.
I
they're
think
going to age Took up.
Yeah, because she was like one of the last characters you see in this movie, and they really like show her like swimming, and it's like, and I want to see more too. She's in this movie, in these movies, she's kind of been utilized as kind of like the damsel in distress, the one that they take hostage to like get to them. But she's necessary too. Like she helps Kiri and Spider get through AWA.
Yeah.
And she brings in the idea that, you know, the Sullys both stick together and they don't quit. And she's always trying to stick with them, even though they leave her behind sometimes. To like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Well,
and they don't quit.
I think there will be more Took for sure. I think that's my prediction. It's just a more central role for Took.
We didn't see Quaritch fully die. We saw him fall, and there's a possibility that they do like
he's not dead if we're getting the fourth movie.
Yeah, I feel like he's coming back.
Dude, he's like the sauce of these movies.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Like obviously he's the bad guy. I don't love that guy, but I love his performance. Stephen Lang is incredible in these movies. He's
so great, and I think they're gonna really get into Kiri's and Spider's relationship. I think they're gonna
need Spider as like a grown-up Tarzan man with a long kudu and
they might even do a thing where maybe they start like a family, which would be really interesting because
we see like a new evolution of Na'vi where they look more like humans but they have the Na'vi features.
That's kind of going into some crazy hybrid stuff there. It might be a bit too far, but it's a possibility. And I think we'll also definitely see Loak like develop more as a leader and kind of take over the role of Jake Sully.
Yeah. It'll be like a next generation story, I'm sure. It'll be like highlighting the differences between the last generation and this one.
I know that a lot of people were predicting that Jake Sully was going to die in this movie. I think if he's going to die in any movie, it's going to be the fourth movie.
Yeah.
If anything, he's probably going to die at the end of the fourth movie, which kind of leads on to the fifth movie and what happens after that.
Yeah.
That not saying that I want him to die or anything, but like if that were the case, I think that's what would happen. There was also a lot of rumors that Neytiri was going to be on Earth at some point, like in the fifth movie. I know, right? Crazy. Like
Earth. That'd be interesting.
Exactly. I don't know why that would happen. I don't see an instance in which that would be necessary. But who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, all we gotta do is just bet on James Cameron and just
never bet against him.
I just hope it makes money so we get it.
It's gonna make money. Like the worst thing is that it's not gonna make $2 billion, but it'll make over $1 billion. I'm pretty sure.
Hopefully, I think so.
I think that's an easy bet to make if you want to.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to catch us next Monday for our final episode of the season, our season finale, which will be our best of 2025 movies episode. It's actually one I'm really excited to do because it's not going to be as structured. It's really just going to be us bringing up movies and just talking about them. And I think we're kind of keeping it secret from each other what our lists are going to look like. I'm sure by this point we know each other well enough to where we kind of have an idea of what everything's going to look like, but I don't know. I've been rearranging mine for the past weeks and just trying to figure out where everything stands. It's hard.
Yeah, I need to look back on all the movies I've seen this year and kind of see if I need to make a few changes here and there. I am curious where I'm going to put Avatar, though. I would need to look at.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be among the better ones of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, well, go see this film
Mm-hmm.
in the big formats. Go follow us on all of our platforms: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us everywhere. We'll keep you posted on when the next season will be beginning, but be sure to tune into our finale next week as well. And leave us a comment, rate the podcast, share it with your friends, and send us an email. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. So, yeah, I've been Peyton.
And I've been Adrian.
And we'll see you next time on the Apple Box.